I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and today we're doing another account takeover. This one's a more standard account. This is MahkDaddy's account, another fantastic name. We're gonna go ahead, look at his kits, look at the team he has going, see how he's doing damage-wise. Right now, he's basically doing a 2-key nightmare run, and what I see in his account are the champions to be doing a 3-key ultimate nightmare run, maybe even a 2-key, honestly. So I want to get in there, take a look at the account, see what we can't do. He's got some real interesting champs. One of the best parts of this is I get to play with some champions I don't actually have, so I'm kind of excited to give that whole thing a look. So let's jump in, we'll look at the champs and figure out what he's doing. We're gonna get a kind of an overview of who he has and what he's running. Rosin obviously is great for that decreased defense and weaken. He's got him sped up to about 202, it looks like, which is pretty solid speed. Great defense, solid health. The crit rate and damage are definitely low. Accuracy is a little bit low. I can definitely tell you that Rosin should be doing more damage, and that crit rate and damage is going to be a big part of that. So we'll see if we can't put that into his kit. Tyrant is a fantastic champion too. His ally protection is huge. He is a damage mitigator just as a passive. Definitely not kitted out for, doesn't look like for clan boss at all. So that's something we could look at, maybe including him in the composition. The ally protection is huge. Valkyrie, 190, probably a little bit faster with the speed set, but so that's not a bad for a simple composition. That's fast enough to go in the first turn and keep in tune. Defense is okay. 5500 defense is okay. For most champions, like, that's a great number, way overkill. For Valkyrie, because her shield's based off of defense, we actually probably want to get that as high as possible. So I'd be looking to try aim for at least 6,000 on that. If we can do more, great. It's possible that we can't, and that'll be fine, but that would be ideal. Nethril here is a fantastic poisoner. I would kill to have a Nethril on my team, quite frankly. I'm a little tired of Steel Skull at this point. I'd like to mix it up, but yeah, he's got 194 speed, defense at 3,000. It's not bad, not spectacular, but it's not bad. Crit rate could definitely go up. Crit damage could go up. Those, I think, are going to be the big things for him. Yeah, when you're facing Nightmare, 3,000 defense is okay. Ultimate Nightmare, definitely want to get around 3,500. Lugan here is an interesting champion. He's a super healer, has an ally protection in his kit. So those are all very interesting champions. I don't feel like with just Tower running an unkillable team doesn't make a lot of sense. Does look like he's a Warcaster, so it's possible we could do that. Not really my forte, nor do I enjoy those kind of compositions, so we're not going to do that for this, but something to keep in mind. Could definitely pull an unkillable comp off with this kind of a squad. You figure a Tower, Warcaster, you got Nethril, Rosin, and I suppose you could add a Steel Skull if you wanted to, and that would do it for you. You'd have quite a team. You could even put a Valkyrie in there and get some more counterattack going. So, but we're still looking for a couple more spots. So let's see what else we have. Rearguard Sergeant. She's an excellent champion. Brings that decreased defense, the defense break. If we put her in, we probably would not have Rosin Scarhide in, which means we'd be missing the weaken debuff. Not a crucial thing to miss, but that definitely helps up our damage. So that's something we're gonna have to decide on what to do there. Pretty good defense. Could definitely go up a little bit, but that looks like a solid build. We got Grizzled Jarl. We're worried about the stun and debuffs from affinities. He's an excellent champion to bring in. I just was working on my Slow Chris composition, and he was key to making that an effective run. We also have a Jareg, 3000 D, good speed. He's geared up for ultimate Nightmare right now, over 190 speed, and he's looking okay. Accuracy's way too low. We're just not. Oh, that's a huge problem. So I think he's currently in his composition with that kind of accuracy. He's not landing his debuff at all, and that means his runs are not effective. So that's something we'll have to look at. Tyrell's another excellent alternative. He's got better accuracy. Again, we should probably, that defense is okay. It's about 3,000 again. So the defense in general, like I'm seeing, is a little bit low. Crit rate's excellent. That's nice to see. He's kitted it out for Ultimate Nightmare right now. That's fantastic. So yeah, that's definitely something we want to look at. Steel Skull does look like she's kitted for a clan boss. going over 190 speed as well. 3,000 defense, a little harder on her, but still doable. Accuracy is a little bit low. With her infrequency of landing her poisons, you definitely want that accuracy high enough to do that. The only other champion I see that's really intriguing me is Sepulchre Sentinel here. She's obviously not fully kitted out, but she's an excellent decrease attack champion. Maybe the best in the game at this point. Arguable her or Alton. Alton just does way more damage, but she brings some great utility blocking debuffs. So okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and take some time and look at these champions, and we'll start re-gearing them and figure out what we're going to do. And then when I come back, I'll show you the champs, we'll do a run, and kind of go from there. So this should be fun. Yeah! Alright guys, I'm going to show you the gear really quick and the champions so you get an idea of what we've done. I'm not going to go over the stats so much themselves as to what my thinking is behind it. You can read the numbers on the screen. I don't need to spell that out for you. Obviously, Tyrant, he heals himself on his A1. That's why we have him in Stalwart gear and not Lifesteal, because he has a self-heal ability. If his accuracy is a little higher, we could keep the debuffs on a little bit more, and that would help him with that heal, but not a huge thing. He is our ally protector. In this composition, he's going to go use the ally protection second, actually, and so he'll have it up before the second AoE. He's crucial to doing that. It's really important. Because of that, we actually want him going faster than our other champion, Rearguard Sergeant, which is how I have it set up right now. For the runs I'm going to show you, I actually had those speeds reversed, which makes it not as good of a run. Still impressive when you think about the damage, but we're not able to get the double ally protection. In effect, it falls off of Tyrant when he's trying to protect. Rearguard's going to put up the first ally protection. Tyrant's going to put up the second one. And if I had tuned it a little bit better, had Rearguard actually slower than Tyrant, had her and had them in the right order, then her ally protection would stay on Tyrant through his ally protection, and he would be taking a lot less damage for that second stun. Doesn't ruin the run. He survives before Rearguard Sergeant goes down, but just something to keep in mind. For these ally protection champions, we want to keep them as tanky as possible, so I would actually love to have more HP and defense on Rearguard especially. Tyrant, I think, is in a really good position here, but we can always make that defense higher. Nethril here is our poisoner. He's going to be the DPS guy. He does tons and tons of the damage. He's great for this role. Obviously, we can up his defense and his HP a little bit, but he's in a real good spot right there. If I got his attack higher, he would do more damage. Valkyrie is the king of everything that she does, the queen, I suppose you'd say. That 190 speed is what the clan boss goes at. We are slightly above it because of the speed set bonus, so it's actually like 190.48. So we are going first, and we will stay in sync with that. 6,000 defense is an improvement over what we started with. I'd love to get that to 7 like I have on my team, or 8,000 like a Hell Hades has on his team. The more defense you stack, the better the shield, and that means just more sustain and more damage. We also went with Sepulchre Sentinel. I had to level her up to 60. Totally worth it. She was key to making this work because it now is an affinity-friendly team. She's going to block the debuffs from the clan boss after the second AoE and from the stun, and that's going to make everything run really smooth. Obviously, we have her a little low because her speed is so insanely high. 240 is hard to get to, but that's going to make her go first and last. She'll take her double turn between the AoEs, which means she's going to keep that block debuff up for both AoEs and the stun. It's a great spot to have her in, but the requirement is a very fast tune. So obviously we can get that defense higher to like 4,500, get the HP higher at like 40,000 or at least 35,000. We would last a lot longer and do a lot better. But we're a little limited in gear. We had some really great pieces, just not a lot of them. So I didn't have as much flexibility in trying to gear everyone up. I did kit out Rosin. Obviously have to put in a chest piece, but we kitted out Rosin. He's a good substitute if we wanted to bring him in for, say, Rearguard and just go with the one ally protection of Tyrant. And if we did that, we do about the same amount of damage. I can probably show you that clip at the end here, just like a little screenshot of the damage that we did. So there are options within this. So if you guys are sleeping on ally protection, use it. It will make your teams a lot tankier. That said, let's go into the run. I'll show you what we did, and I think you guys are going to be very impressed with the results. So you can see we're facing the Nightmare clan boss. That going to throw off the speed of Sepulchre a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a moment. First, I want to focus on this ally protection. So now, as far as Sepulchre Sentinel goes, she's moving so fast, and this is a Nightmare clan boss. Normally, she fights Ultimate Nightmare. We are going at a 3-2 ratio. She's taking 3 turns for every 2 the clan boss takes. Because of that, getting the timing down for her block debuff ability and increased defense can be a little bit tricky. Now, against an affinity boss, what we'd want to do is make sure she uses her ability right before the second AoE to block the debuffs. And what that'll do is it should block the stun about half the time. If she takes a double turn on that between the AoEs, she'll use it on the second one, and that will stay up so that she'll have it up on herself and everybody else for the stun, as well as the debuffs. If she takes a single turn between the AoEs, it will fall off of her because she'll take a double turn before the stun, and that way she should take the aggro, the stun from the clan boss, depending on affinities, of course. And you have to adjust that. I do show an Ultimate Nightmare run after this, exactly how you can use Sepulchre Sentinel to and adjust the runs, especially with Valkyrie's increased speed passive, to still block the appropriate AoE debuffs and block the stun and keep your team going as best as possible. Now, normally I would go ahead and show the whole run, but this is going to take a while, and I want to show you guys the Nightmare run where I time everything well. So we're just going to go ahead and cut to the end. I'll show you the end results that we've gotten on Nightmare, and then we'll show you that Ultimate Nightmare run. Alright, so we're back at the end of the run here. You can see Sepulchre goes down, and that is going to signal we're getting towards the end here. We are on turn count 46 now. This double ally protection will help you sustain and last incredibly long. Definitely worth checking out for a lot of people. So that's why I wanted to present this, show you the difference, how important of a defensive mechanic that can be for you. Now, if you have a Valkyrie, you maybe don't even need to worry about it. Her shield is so tanky. She'll take you to turn 30 without any worries at all. And perhaps you can stack more DPS on everything. But if not, this is certainly a way to go. As you can see, we are at 39 million damage. That is very nearly 1 key on Nightmare. And that's pretty impressive. So I'm also going to show you this really quickly. And there it is, 44.75 million. That is 1 key range there for Nightmare. We did have Rosin in that composition instead of Rearguard Sergeant, and that may be ultimately a better solution for this team, but definitely want to show you guys this ally protection. Let's go into the Ultimate Nightmare run. I'm going to show you guys how it's supposed to be run properly, and then I'll actually show you the complete run on that one. We'll see how well we do. So really quickly here, obviously, just A1 here, we're using Sepulchre Sentinel to block the debuff. That's key. Because her and Valkyrie go first, Valkyrie can toss on that counter attack. That's going to be huge for us. We get in those attacks right away, start putting the debuffs on the clan boss. That's always really nice. The key to this is obviously the ally protection and having 2 of them. So in order for this to work, I need the first ally protector. Whoever's going to use it for the first AoE has to be slower than the second ally protector. In that case, it's Rearguard Sergeant is the slowest. So Tyrant, because we're just starting, is going to put it up. He's going to block the second, or protect on the second AoE. So he's going to put that up right there. We're going to go ahead and just use the different abilities from Rearguard. They're all on 3-turn cooldown, so we can kind of wait. Now, for red and blue affinity, we can go ahead and wait on the debuff. Now, I know Sepulchre Sentinel is in there to block both the clan boss debuffs as well as the stun. Unfortunately, with Valkyrie, her passive ability throws her off sync, and so Sepulchre Sentinel's coming in not doing the double turn at quite the right time. As a result, we're going to use Sepulchre Sentinel to block the stun. Now, against a green affinity boss, Sepulchre Sentinel should be just fine because the clan boss is going to target the weak affinity, which is Sepulchre Sentinel in that case, and because she'll have it up for 2 turns, she'll be able to block that debuff on herself. So it should work for all affinities. It's just a little bit different for the different affinities. So something to keep in mind. She's going to put it up right there, block that debuff. We've got Tyrant going to try and do that. Didn't work. And then there goes Rearguard Sergeant. And at this point, we are pretty much on a full auto position here. I'll run through it just really quick so you guys can see exactly what we're doing. Just using the A1s right there. Now, there goes Tyrant. He's going to go first, so he's just going to use his A1. Here goes Rearguard. She's going to go second, uses that ally protection. The reason why she has to go before or go after Tyrant is so that there's still 2 turns left on the ally protection, because Tyrant going to need that when his turn comes up. Valkyrie puts up the counterattack. There goes Sepulchre Sentinel. And here comes the first AoE. Rearguard Sergeant helps all of us absorb that damage and survive, which is great. And then after that, Tyrant is going to go ahead and use his ally protection. And because Rearguard used hers after that Tyrant went, hers is going to stay on Tyrant. So you can see Tyrant is going to take half damage, but Rearguard's going to take half damage. They're sharing the ally protection. It's going to help us last a lot longer in this fight. I know I showed you that nightmare run before. I did a nightmare run with this composition. It lasted over 70 turns because of that. So just keep that in mind. And we are pretty much in a full automated mode at this point. Now, like I said, that decreased attack debuff is going to hurt us a little bit, specifically Nethril, but Sepulchre Sentinel is going to block the stun. That's more important to keep our run alive, because the stun's going towards Tyrant. Tyrant gets stunned. It's going to throw off his cooldowns, and that ally protection is going to get thrown off, and that's going to mess everything up. Now, one of the reasons why ally protection is so crucial is my understanding of this. Now, I have not confirmed this with the developers. I am still not part of that content creator program just yet. I hit that 1,000 sub mark, so I'm hopeful to get in there soon. But I haven't confirmed this. But my understanding, and this has been from the work of Napoleon Camembert as well as others, that the protected damage, the damage that they're absorbing from their allies, is not affected by the multiplier. So as time goes on, the clan boss is going to hit harder and harder and harder. But my understanding is the ally protection doesn't get that multiplier. So it's a static number that they're sharing, which means that by sharing that damage, it's reducing. I mean, normally you'd think, oh, they're taking half the damage. They must be taking so much damage by the end. Well, not really. They're only taking what they normally would and just a little bit extra. That's why ally protection is so valuable. And when you can have double ally protection, that means not only taking that little bit extra, but they're also taking half damage from what they would normally take. So they're lasting as long as all of their allies. So it's such a huge thing. If you can incorporate double ally protection into your composition, you're going to be able to survive so much longer. If any of you saw that Scratch AK-47 video where he put up like 80 plus million with a Krisk and a Tyrant in the composition, that's one of the reasons why. That double ally protection lets him last so much longer, because everybody's taking half damage all the time. Now, we don't have the debuff extension from Krisk, so we're not having everybody take half damage all the time. Rearguard Sergeant is taking that first AoE. So we want to bump up her defense as much as possible in order to help with that. But in general, this is a wonderful way to put a composition together. Now, if you have a Skull Crusher instead of a Valkyrie, you could potentially have ally protection going all the time. There is one thing, though, I want to point out. Rearguard Sergeant's AI is a little strange in that she won't put up ally protection if ally protection's already up. That's why she's actually taking the first hit. Because if Tyrant puts up the first ally protection, Rearguard won't use it in the second AoE. So that's a little bit of a problem. You have to be able to adjust to the artificial intelligence of the champions, the AI that is installed in there. That is just something that you have to deal with. And in this case, the way we dealt with it was we had Rearguard Sergeant go first and Tyrant go second. Now, for this composition, if we subbed Rosin in, we would still be doing wonderful damage. We could take Rearguard Sergeant out, just have Tyrant tank both AoEs, put Rosin in. We might even be able to do more damage, but I wanted to show you guys exactly how this double ally protection can work and work to your benefit. I'll get myself off the screen We're firmly in 3 key Ultimate Nightmare territory. We started in 2 key Nightmare. Now we're firmly in 3 key Ultimate Nightmare. And, that was red affinity. That means Tyrant's working against a weak affinity boss. He's weak affinity against that boss, and his accuracy's low. If he gets that HP burn down, that's a huge damage mitigator that he brings as a passive ability, and he's healing himself up more, so that Stalwart Gear is really doing the work. We can bump up rear guard's defense and HP. This is a 2 key Ultimate Nightmare team. I feel that very confidently. In fact, let me show you a couple void runs I did. You can see we're getting right around 30 million. Even putting Rosin Scarhide in for Rearguard Sergeant as a possibility, we're hitting that 30 million mark. 29 million, 30 million. This is a 2 key team. Just a little bit more work, a little bit more gear, some more crit rate and damage, and this team is going to get him that 2 key run on Ultimate Nightmare, which is what we're really looking for here. I could not be happier. MahkDaddy, I know, is very happy about this. I think this was a huge success for us. Double ally protection, guys. If you're looking to mitigate damage, you want to last longer in a fight, that's the way to go. We lasted, I believe, over 40 turns in this one, and we're not even near being maxed out. So a lot of room for improvement on this. Hopefully you guys found this helpful and interesting and showed you a little bit something new on how to use this stuff for the clan boss. If you guys have not visited my website, please do. It's going to help you a lot. That speed calculator is huge. It is a big lifesaver. I actually went on there and found the speed tune list to find this tune particularly because on how to use a Sepulchre Sentinel, because I don't have one. So I use the website every day. If you're trying to improve your clan boss team, I recommend you do too. Keep posting those great improvements on your team on the Discord. It is awesome to see those runs that you guys are doing and the success that you're finding with this, with these tools that I'm presenting for you guys. So if you like this, if you found it helpful, please subscribe. Just hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, which I did not expect to have happen this soon. It is very humbling, and thank you for that. If you're watching this video and you're finding it helpful and you're not subscribed, though, please click that notification bell so that you know when the next video comes out. I'm trying to do these at least 3 or 4 times a week. In addition to the website, I feel like that's a lot of content, and hopefully you guys are finding it valuable. Hopefully this was great for you guys. I love talking to you. Until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.